in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. It's all in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. Now get your hands up. 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 All in the fam.
It's me, Life of Lolu, and I'm your guest host today on All in the Fam podcast. And I'm so excited, so excited to be here with y'all, a different crowd. I don't know who you all are, but I'm super excited to get to know y'all and to kind of talk to you guys today about self-care. But first, follow me on all platforms. My name is Life of Lolu on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm on all those platforms. If you want to see more of me, you like me, you vibe with me, follow me there and you'll see more of me. But self-care, y'all. I love self-care. Self-care is something that's really, really important to me. And so when Bree told me this was a topic, I was like, oh my gosh, great. Like, this is already just my vibe, my aesthetic, and something that I always like to discuss on all of my platforms. So it's really great. I know y'all watch Insecure. I know you all know what Self-Care Sunday looked like on Insecure, with Molly and Issa always doing something for themselves, whether it was hiking or doing massages or, you know, just like vibing, just doing whatever they felt like they needed to do to just take care of themselves that day. But for me, I wouldn't say I have a day that I do self-care. I feel like self-care to me is just like whenever I need it, but I just make sure that I schedule it. Let's back up. First of all, let's talk about what self-care means to me. To me, self-care is showing up for myself. Self-care is pouring into myself so that I'm able and ready to pour into the other people in my life that I have. Like, you can't really pour into people, be there for people wholeheartedly if you're not there for yourself. And I think that it's very, very important so that you don't grow resentment for the people that you have to be there for, you know? So you really have to just pour into yourself, but it's like, it looks different for everyone. For me, I think what I usually do is just like chill. I like to get my nails done. I like to get massages. I like to just like be in tune with myself. Recently I took a staycation in Chicago, where I live, and I just got a hotel for the weekend, was there, enjoyed myself, went to go get good food, and just like stayed in the city that I live in, but I just took advantage of it and just tried to make it fulfilling for me. And it was so amazing. It was such a great experience. And I honestly advise anyone in whatever city you live in to try to make the best of it. Especially since we're in COVID and we're not in COVID, but we're in a pandemic, and COVID has affected all of us in different ways. Whether it's not allowing you to see your family as much, whether it's not allowing you to travel, which is also a form of self-care that I love, and I'm also feeling really trapped in this time. But whatever it is, I think that there's so much around us, and without going too far and being unsafe, there's things that we can do to take care of ourselves. So another thing that I really like to do at home is really just watch movies, chill with my siblings, talk to my friends on the phone. There's so many things you can do that will really make you feel filled. Another thing about me is that I love candles. So I have candles all over. I have like 3 in my room, and I love to light them up. And when I tell y'all, self-care is just smelling a candle and just sitting in that smell and trying to figure out what you're smelling. And it's just, there's so many things that you can do that you would be shocked will actually really help you calm down, help you feel better. I think that the main reason why self-care is so important is just that it really allows us to be there for ourselves. And a lot of the times we have so many obligations to be everything for other people. We have siblings, we have family members, we have parents, we have boyfriends and girlfriends and people that we're in relationships with, we have friends, and that's a lot of people demanding your time, people demanding your energy. But it's really important to be in tune with yourself and know how you are feeling. Another way to figure out how you're feeling is journaling, as well as reading. I love reading poetry. It's funny that I have all this stuff right here. I didn't even plan to have it right here, but it's all by my bedside because like that's just me. So I love reading poetry. I recently read All Along You Are Blooming, which is a collection of poetry from Morgan Harper Nichols, which is a famous Instagram poet. I love her. She DM'd me, replied to my DM, and I replied to my mention, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's a celebrity to me. I'm really a big stan of poetry. I have all my poetry books over here, and just like I journal. So I have like journals here. I have my agenda and stuff. Learning how to navigate your feelings is a very, very good form of self-care that is very, very important. One really good and really slept on way to practice self-care is honestly just turning your phone off or putting your phone off of do not disturb, or taking like a social media detox for a couple days or a day or a week or a month. Like, honestly, when I'm not on social media, I feel like there's less clouding my mind. I think I love social media. Obviously, like, I'm a social media person. I like social media. I like Twitter. Twitter is funny. Twitter always keeps me laughing. But sometimes a lot of things are clouding your mind. And then when you also have social media on top of that, you really aren't in tune with what you're doing or how you're feeling. You're like going through the motions type of thing. So whenever I start feeling like that, I'm like, okay, I need to either cut back on social media. I don't want to just be aimlessly scrolling without even actually knowing what I'm doing, or just like, I need to just give myself time to turn my phone off and not have to be worrying about replying to people and all this stuff, because we live in a world where everybody wants access to you and they want it at that moment. And that's not really how it should be. I think we should give ourselves that grace and like know that, and other people should also give us the grace to know that, you know, we will answer them when we have time. We will get back to them when we can, unless it's like work or something, or even work. Like, there should be boundaries. I feel like that's something that should be normal, even though everything now, it's like there's no boundaries and everybody expects you to reply to them 2 minutes after you text them or after you message them, and it's like, that's not fair. I think we need to give ourselves that grace, give ourselves that, because we need to show up for ourselves and we need to be able to be present in our own lives. So definitely turn your phone off. Turn your phone off. Just put your phone on do not disturb. I love do not disturb. My phone's on do not disturb 24/7. And people be like, okay, what if I'm calling you and I'm about to die? I'm like, yo, you call a couple times and I'll get it. Tell people that you don't answer the phone after a specific time. Tell those people that be trying to FaceTime you at 12 midnight, tell them you gotta go to bed. Having a bedtime is also a really, really good form of self-care. Like, I started using the phone app, started using the bedtime thing on iPhone, and it tells me when I need to go to bed. It tells me I need to wind down. It tells me when I need to wake up. Obviously, I have my alarm set, and it gets you in a routine. I think having a routine is a really good part of self-care, because it gets you going, it gets you doing the same thing consistently, and that helps. Oh my gosh, how did I forget to talk about working out? Working out has helped me so much, especially during this pandemic. And even though I'm doing home workouts and just doing little things, like, I've honestly, it saved me, because if I didn't have that, I would have just been sitting down eating my feelings away when things get rough, because I stress eat sometimes. So even being able to work out at home has been a blessing. And I do miss the gym. I really wanted to join the gym this year, and then all this stuff happened. That's my excuse. No, but for real, I was gonna join the gym, and then all of this stuff hit the fan and I couldn't even join one anymore. So I had to make the best out of it, and now gyms are open, but I'm still kind of weary, so I'm still not really in the gym yet. But yeah, home workouts. I used to do these dance Afrobeat workouts. I'm Nigerian, so we had that lit dancing, we have the lit music, and we have dancing videos on YouTube of these African dancers dancing, and that's always really cool to do. So yeah, there's so many things you can do that will honestly boost your energy and make you happy. I think the biggest myth about self-care is just that it requires maybe money, or it requires something big. And I think that's really what I try to knock down. Like, those are the things that the barriers that I just don't think are necessary. Self-care doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be you spending hundreds of dollars on massages and, all those luxury things. We all love those things. I mean, I love those things. I love luxury things. Anything luxury, I love it. But realistically, I can't afford to get a massage every week. I can't afford to do those type of things every week. I can't afford to even go to a hotel every weekend. Like, that's not sustainable. And I think that's where the hard part comes in. It's like when you have to make the most out of whatever you have. And it's hard, but there's always ideas, there's always things to do. Tomorrow I'm having a girls' night with some of my friends, and that's self-care to me. I mean, we're all gonna just be around each other, we're gonna talk, we're gonna have fun, and that is self-care. So there's always something you can do that will help you feel better. And I think it's very important that we prioritize ourselves and our mental health. Mental health is so important. And even in this adulting thing, I just recently, I'm really like in the thick of adulting right now. I graduated from college a year ago. And so since then I've been really in the real world. I got a real world job. I have real world bills. I have just real world things to deal with. And I think what's really helped me, especially navigating all this in a pandemic, has been very, very hard, but just trying to keep myself sane, making sure that I don't let my mental health dwindle has really been an important aspect of surviving this pandemic. And honestly, y'all, that is the way to go. So please, even though we're in a pandemic, do not let that stop your bag. Do not let that stop you from growing, from evolving. I'm such a big proponent of growth, and I'm not always happy with where I am. That's realistic, but I'm always ready and willing to grow. And I know that I have so much growth to do. So that is really why it's so exciting. And like self-care is such a great thing that helps you grow. That's all I have for you folks this evening. But I really hope that you all were able to learn something about self-care. If you do follow me and you follow me because you saw me on this podcast, please DM me and say hello. I would love to chat with you. And self-care is really important, y'all. So please don't sleep on it. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of your mentals. Take care of everything that has to do with you. Love y'all.